Welcome, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. This video is about a severe sunburn that caused a 16-year-old girl to develop protruding blisters on her back. If you look at this picture and thinking, damn, or what the F, that's exactly what I thought when I saw the video. This is one of those pictures where you would think the media would have covered this up. You know, blurred it out like they do, certain criminals when they want to conceal what they look like, or certain people, they blur the picture out. You would think that the media would have done that in using this picture, but I guess they actually want you to see exactly what happens to a certain group of people when they get sunburned. Now, before I get into this video, I want to say to all those people who are my friends as well, that are not white and are not black either, who say things like, well, even though you're black, you need to use suntan lotion too. You need to put some SPF on too. And I turn around and I look at them and I tell them, no, I don't, and I never have. This is another example where it's showing you who is affected by sunburns. It's definitely not black people. This just doesn't happen to our skin. This only happens to people who have genetically deficient skin complexion. So, I don't know if there's anything I can say to fully prepare you for what you're about to see and read. So let's just jump right into it. Well, we've already done that. But a teenage girl recently shared photos of the severe blisters on her back from a horrendous sunburn, and now her story's going viral. Macy Squires, a 16-year-old girl from Leeds, England, took to Facebook on Thursday to share that after being on vacation in Cuba, she developed a sunburn so bad the skin on her back ballooned out into two large pus-filled blisters. Now, as you can see on the screen here, this is exactly what happened to her back. And it's just not those blisters. You can go further down below her back there and see that it's affecting pretty much her whole back. But anyways, the blisters were surrounded by patches of deep red colored skin. We could see that. According to her Facebook post, Squires was only out in the sun, sea snorkeling for an hour. Again, black people have proven that we can stay in the sun for hours. How did we know this? Well, your ancestors who enslaved my ancestors kept them out in the sun from sunup, or from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. And so therefore they were out in the sun all day without any sunscreen, and no black people have ever been afflicted with their skin reacting to the natural sun like this. So for an hour and then applied sunscreen beforehand. It says according to her Facebook post, Squires was only out in the sun sea snorkeling for an hour and applied sunscreen beforehand. So she applied sunscreen. This is the result of her applying sunscreen to her skin and then being out in the sun for an hour. Quote, I didn't realize my back was burning, she wrote, but it has blistered this bad because it was very hot in Cuba. To make matters even worse, Squire said in the post that her blisters developed, quote, just before a 9-hour flight back home to England. So Before I continue, I want to repeat what she said. She wrote, but it has blistered this bad because it was very hot in Cuba. So can you imagine what white people would have gone through in ancient Egypt building some pyramids at the equator in North Africa? They just would not be able to do it. That's how you know their story about ancient Egypt is nothing but lies. But I digress. So on Friday, Squires shared an update on her condition, showing on Facebook a picture of the blisters on her back significantly deflated or popped altogether. Though the severe redness was still apparent. Macy also said in another comment that she visited a hospital for the burns, but they didn't do anything. Quote, they didn't do anything. Well, what can a doctor do? This is from the natural reaction of the sun. You know, the sun that gives everything else on planet Earth life. So, according to Deborah Jollyman, a medical doctor, a New York City-based dermatologist and author of Skin Rules, who saw photos of Squires' back, Squires likely has a, quote, bad second-degree burn that happens when the skin blisters, according to the American Academy of Dermatology, or AAD. But those blisters are actually a good sign and shouldn't be popped. Quote, blisters help your skin heal and protect you from infection, per the AAD. With second-degree blisters like Squires, Dr. Jollyman says the best course of action is to see a dermatologist ASAP. That's as soon as possible. There are special bandages to prevent scarring, she says. In addition to that, pain relievers like aspirin or ibuprofen, cold compresses, and moisturizers like Aquaphor and Vaseline can help with pain and speed the healing process. Again, these are different things that black people just don't have to go through. So for anyone else, whether you are white, Asian, Hispanic or Mexican, Latino, whatever else you are, if you go through this, let me just remind you, this is not something that black people go through. But I digress. So another important step in recovery with a severe sunburn is staying hydrated. According to the AAD, a sunburn can draw fluid to the skin surface and away from the rest of the body, which can cause dehydration. And as far as sun protection goes, you know, to avoid severe blisters on your back in the first place, or in Squire's case, avoid future sunburns. It's best to use one with broad spectrum protection. Quote, that means it protects against UVA and UVB rays. Has an SPF of at least 30 and is water resistant per the AAD. Also important, get as much shade as possible. In other words, stay out of the sun. In other words, this whole summer, just stay in the house if possible. Don't go outside for any reason. Wear light-colored, protective clothing and apply that sunscreen you should be wearing as directed. Usually 30 minutes before you go out in the sun, and then every 2 hours. Wow, that's a lot of sunscreen, a lot of stuff you guys gotta use. But anyways, as far as Squires, I only hope that she's staying as comfortable as possible and that she's working with doctors to help make sure the blisters heal properly. All I can say to you, my fellow YouTubers, subscribers, brothers and sisters out there, I'm so glad I am who I am because I don't have to worry about things like this. Anyways, you tell me what you think in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.